So we just finished watching the Super Mario Maker 2 Direct twice because there is so much in there that we couldn't take it in all at once. So we're here to finally discuss our thoughts on everything we just saw. And I don't know about you guys, I was pretty blown away by it. There are a couple points that disappointed me. I'll get to those in a moment or a little bit later. But on the whole, they threw in so much here. They added like almost everything plus a kitchen sink that I could think of. And also, I want to take a quick moment to brag that we pretty much nailed a lot of that, by the way. A lot of how that worked, we figured out in our analysis. I'm pretty happy about that. I'm glad I didn't waste those, 7 weeks or however long it was putting it together. But yeah, I was pretty blown away by this on the whole. We have a story mode confirmed. We have online multiplayer. We have cooperative level building. We have a ton of new elements added to the creator. We have like the on and off block that serves multiple functions. I could go on and on. That's what the Direct did, so I won't go over it all right now. But let's get your guys' take. Let's start off with you, Derek. What did you think overall?
I mean, the crazy thing is that this was 15 minutes and it still didn't feel like they covered everything. Like they were just, here's this element, and you look at the screen and there's 20 different things to look at as far as things that you can do in this game. Like, we thought this might be, okay, 15 minutes, that's pretty granular. They can really get into it, but there's so much more here than we thought. And it's just kind of incredible how much they're pumping into this, and there's some really exciting stuff here, even for somebody like me who's not all that into the creation aspect of Mario Maker 2. The gameplay aspect is really exciting.
And they start off in like a really slow way, where I thought they were just gonna basically show us the basics for 15 minutes. Right. So it starts off and it goes like, did you know you can give a Goomba a mushroom? And then all of a sudden, like, you're in this car, you're zooming past, you're in a 3D world style. There's so much going on here, and it goes by so quickly. And we took a bunch of notes for this discussion, and there's so much here. There's so much to cover. And R.I.P. Andre when he has to do his analysis for this, because I don't know how long this is going to be, man.
Oh, I don't know. And the thing is, too, like, I'm up against a wall here. Like, I can't take as long with this one, because it'll be E3 in a few weeks. So.
And the game will be out soon.
I know, exactly. It'll be out shortly thereafter. So, yeah, this is going to be fun to figure out how I'm going to fit this all in. But I think now that a lot of the basics are out of the way, and this Direct covered a lot more, too, I don't think it'll be as bad as the first one, but we'll see. As you said, there was a lot to cover. We were going through it, almost frame by frame, not quite frame by frame, but like very slowly as a group chat, just talking about this as we're going through it. And there is really a lot to cover. Like, they added so many new elements. And what I love, too, is how we've discussed before, is every new element they add, like, it's a cascade of opportunities, like how it interacts with everything else. And I love that. One of the things I'm most excited for is a confirmation that there are a ton of, I forget what they called it here, but a ton of, like, level objectives against that now. Whether it's defeating enemies or making it to the end of the stage as Big Mario or collecting coins. Like, this is really going to transform how you build stages, including with the the ability to focus on co-op with it being online. By the way, that really blew me away. I figured there would be co-op here. I didn't think it would be online, which makes sense, so people can design stages with it in mind. We also have a confirmation of vertical stages, or vertical sub-areas, rather, which I wish you could do it for everything, but you know what? I'll take it. I'll take vertical any form I can get it. So it really just thoroughly impressed me with the amount of opportunities and possibilities that there are here.
And we're going to get a lot of mileage out of this game, because you can play online, of course, with your friends cooperatively, meaning we can do co-op streams of this game. And as you said, with the different objectives, it turns Mario Maker into, like, not just a platformer. It can make it into a puzzle game. It can make it into
a game creator, almost.
Right, exactly, yeah. Mm-hmm. And because you can filter between what you want to search for now, it just makes what you want to play so much easier. Like, the filter for what you can find seems to be better. Though, they didn't actually show it all in full, though, because during the, when they were showing off the online portion, there were two different sections. There was a search and advanced search, and they didn't really show us which one they chose, so I wonder if you can search, with keywords, or whether you're just stuck searching for certain categories. So I guess we'll see that more when we see more of the game.
Yeah, if I had to guess, I think the one we saw was a detailed search, whereas the search option on the left, I'm hoping, is a keyword search, but it's hard to say for sure. I'm right there with you. But yeah, the online looks much improved. I'm excited personally for the story mode as well. Like being able to see, like we got a taste of the levels Nintendo can create in Super Mario Maker on the Wii U and more so on 3DS. But now that they have all these crazy new elements, I can't wait to see what they do with them. Especially with, I love the context they gave the mode where you're building a castle, you're rebuilding Peach's castle. To do that, you need coins. You need to play the stages to get coins. So they're contextualizing coins, which is nice. Something that they also did in Mario Run, which by the way, I said I hoped would happen for the next 2D Mario game, which this effectively is. This is basically a new 2D Mario right here. So there you go, John. You were hoping for it, so...
Yeah, we got it. And you know what? I always found collecting coins in the original Mario Maker was kind of pointless.
It was
I only
pointless,
have put coins in my levels as directional guidance. But I guess now there's more incentive than ever to get coins. And I suppose that's why they've given us like 30 coins and 50 coins to put in the levels as well. So that makes a lot of sense. Like, coins are not only objectives to finish levels now, but they also, help you build Peach's castle back up.
Yeah, it's really cool to see what they're doing and how they're expanding upon that. Just the fact that there's a quest system, and as you build up more of the castle, more people come in to have you even do even more quests and get even more coins, and just how they just, again, build upon the foundations that were in Mario Maker and just going nuts with them. And even just with, you guys were talking about online, you were talking about cooperative, John, working together. Screw that, the competitive mode. That's what I'm excited for.
Heck yeah.
That's going to be cool. Just because it's for randoms, or hopefully you can play with friends as well, but competing against each other in a level to see who can get there first. If there's, you can even like cheese it so one person does the work and the next person sort of takes advantage of that. It's 3D Worlds mode, multiplayer just cranked up to 11, and that has a lot of potential.
Especially, Derek, because as they showed during the Direct, and as we speculated before, you can basically make you versus Boo levels, where you use on and off blocks just to dick over your friends, and it looks hilarious.
Oh yeah. And I love that you're not tied to the same screen as well, because that was always a big limitation in other co-op Mario games, but because you can play online now, everyone pretty much has their own display, so you can, I don't know how far you can go from other players. I guess maybe you can play the entire way away from them.
I'd imagine
but
so.
It seems they can go off screen and there's no real repercussion for that. And I love that. It's going to make it far less, I guess, less chaotic, but also more manageable.
Oh man, I'm just thinking about competitive mode where everybody gets the Koopa Troopa car
races, yeah.
and have races, like everybody's on a different level when you actually race through a set and see who goes the fastest. That'd be pretty wild.
I'm gonna have a lot of fun remaking Mario Kart tracks in this game. It's gonna be a blast. I've already been playing Mushroom Ridge from Mario Kart Wii, or not Ridge,
Mushroom Gorge.
Thank you, Mushroom Gorge, yes! Where you have the bouncy mushrooms there, it's perfect, so I'm gonna be the first one to make it, everyone.
You get a head start.
Yeah. Now, one thing that I found a little bit disappointing, which I think might relate to the car, but I think we only saw it in the 3D World style, right?
Right.
And this kind of ties into a larger point, which I don't know if it's, if it applies specifically to the car, but more that the 3D World style is entirely its own thing, which is something I was afraid of based on the Direct. Because back then I noted how everything we saw in the 3D World style was pretty much exclusive to that style, or at least everything that was new to Mario Maker. And as it turns out, that's exactly the case. If you want to make a 3D World stage, everything you've already built goes bye-bye. You can't carry any over any existing level designs you've made. Which to me is actually pretty disappointing, because one of my favorite things to do is, build a level and then work from there to see what style of, what Mario style works best for the stage I'm building. And now you have to plan that in advance ahead of time, which is one of my big complaints about the new stage builder in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I hate that you have to figure out this stuff ahead of time, and so that part disappoints me a little bit. I mean, I'm sure I'll get over it with how many options you have and how cool the style looks in general, but still, I wish it made every element cross-compatible.
Yeah, I feel that too, but at the same time, I guess it unleashes the shackles of what you can do. So, it says extra game styles as in plural, meaning there may be other styles down the line. And we've been speculating for a while about whether Mario 2 could be in this game, and the main thing holding it back is that it's just so different to the other Mario games. But I guess now that it can be entirely its own thing, that's no longer an argument anymore. Like, we can have Mario 2 in here without any boundaries now.
That's a good point.
That's all the more exciting to me. Yeah, it sucks that it's kind of cut off from the rest, but look how jam-packed this thing is compared to the others, and they're making a lot of unique elements to this. Like I was shocked when I saw that the blinking blocks were in this game, like those timing blocks that had so many memorable levels in the original 3D world. Just like, okay, there's a lot of potential here, a lot of things you can do just with this stage, and it kind of softens that blow of not being able to switch back and forth and you're not having that stuff in the other themes. That's fine. As long as we get to play with this stuff, I'm kind of okay with that.
And now we have 3D World. I am never going to make a Mario U level ever again.
Why would you?
I don't want to hear a single bubba. And a 3D World soundtrack is so good, man. So just to hear more of that, yeah, I'm totally for that.
I think 3D World just looks like a way more fun theme to play with. I mean, partially because it's new, but also because it just inherently looks more fun. Clear pipes. You got the cat suit. You also have that twirl you can do now. Apparently, for like it looks like the twirl they already have in New Super Mario Bros. U, except greatly expanded, where you get a lot more vertical distance out of it. So yeah, I'm right there with you. This kind of kills the New Super Mario Bros. U style for me, at least.
Speaking of themes, though, we got plenty of new themes in general for all the levels. We got desert, snow, forest, and sky, and those look like a lot of fun to play with. Just see, again, it's always fun to see the original Super Mario Brothers adapting all these later elements, and seeing that in there with the desert, the snow, and all that is really cool.
And one of the coolest parts about that is the fact that Koji Kondo was confirmed to be remaking or to be making new compositions for those stages, which makes sense as he's the original composer for a lot of these games, which is just fantastic to me. I love that. That's like bringing David Wise back for Donkey Kong.
Yeah, that's great.
And then also, as part of those styles too, or those themes, is the moon object now, which is the counter to the sun, which changes the properties of the stages, either giving you lower gravity, which I can't believe we were right on, John. We nailed it. Lower gravity. Or
we're starting to doubt ourselves for a while there.
Seriously. Or you can run upside down in the underground stage, where like it's reverse gravity almost. There's wind in the desert, I believe, and tons of other things. Like, that's such a cool idea. Like, that effectively doubles the amount of themes that are here, which already is a silly amount.
I mean, just it makes all those themes a little bit more significant, because before they're just sort of there aesthetically. Mm-hmm. Now with these night themes, you can actually have many more unique ideas. You have the wind, the ghost houses being at night turns off the lights, lowering the gravity, as you said, ice physics in the snow night, so you don't have to use ice blocks everywhere.
Right.
Like, there's some really clever ideas being put into use by just having these night themes.
I'm pretty sure every Mario level template is pretty much here now. I can't think of anything that's missing.
Mountains.
We got, I suppose mountains, yeah. We might have even got to look at them, I'm not entirely sure.
And tropical,
yeah,
too.
I suppose mountains is probably like the big thing that's not there. But apart from that, we got grass, we got lava, we got sand, we got underwater. I don't think we've seen beaches yet, but most of the major ones are here and present.
Yeah, they've covered most of them now, and, you know, in an email I'm reading from Nintendo right now, they did say there are more surprises to come. So, who knows? Maybe there are even more level themes that we don't know about yet. Although I think we saw the menu, so it looks unlikely, but you never know for sure, so...
The big surprise is undoubtedly another game style. It's gotta be. There's a big space for one, they say styles there. Just the question is what it's going to be.
I mean, I think you kind of touched on it. You said a big space for one. Super Mario Land 2 had a space theme.
Well, I mean,
could be. It has to be either Land 2 or Brothers 2.
Yeah.
I think it could be anything, man. It's disconnected from all the other games. It doesn't have to have any continuity. It could be an Odyssey style. It could be a 64 style. It could literally be absolutely anything that Mario's done. Or it could be something that he's never done. It could be something entirely new.
That actually is a good point. Mario Land 2 could probably work largely within the existing elements, or maybe not. I don't know. It is pretty distinct too, so I could maybe see. I mean, I think it's going to be one of the twos, as Derek said. You know, but maybe they'll go nuts, as you touched on. Maybe they'll go Mario 64, or Mario Sunshine, or something. Even if their elements don't quite fit into the 2D paradigm as well as 3D World does. So I'm more counting on one of the other 2D Marios than those.
Sure. What if they did, though, classic arcade Donkey Kong? And you could make your own Donkey Kong levels.
Oh my gosh. DK94.
Yes, DK94.
Yeah, that'd be pretty incredible, actually. Wouldn't that be something?
See, I was thinking, what if they threw us a curveball and all of a sudden, like, surprise, Legend of Zelda. Just as a little sub-area.
I'd love that. Yeah, just I guess that's probably its own game, but I would love if they did that.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I honestly expecting that, but it's likely going to be another Mario game. My guess is Super Mario Brothers 2. I think that has the most potential, especially since we see Mario carrying around those crates in 3D World. So, like, the mechanics of carrying things is already in the game.
Which I loved how those crates work now. How you can throw them and they have some like physics attached to them, which by the way I touched on before as well, but not specifically in this case where we see them floating in the water. So you can create like these floating stacks, which is just another neat new feature that can really play into your level creation, especially with the dynamic water feature now, where we saw how that works, where you can put on a timer and change, the exact height distance of the water in your stage,
and how fast it goes up and down. So there's really a lot you can do there, and you can even do it with lava, like just every granular little detail that you can change. Like, I was looking through the clear conditions screen, and there are so many little ways that you can change things up, whether you're like, you reach the goal after picking up one of the 1-up mushrooms, or defeating X number of this enemy, or stuff like that. It is ridiculous how, like, if there's an element in there, you can probably build a goal around it. So the freedom to create is just massive in this game.
This game makes Mario Maker 1 look basic.
It looks like a beta.
It totally does. Like, all you could do in that game was basically make levels that were limited by the original Super Mario Brothers, because there's no slopes. In Mario, you could wall jump, for instance, but apart from that, levels are still just so flat, and there's so little you could do with them. And I loved Mario Maker 1, but yeah, looking at everything here, they've basically done everything they absolutely can to make a Mario Maker sequel.
Yeah.
I can't think of how they can really top this.
It looks even more dynamic now, like with the tilting platforms or the swinging claws now, which is not at all how I expected them to work, but it looks really fun. A lot of new elements I didn't expect here. I mean, it really looks like we have, I don't know the exact number, but it really looks like we have like twice as much to play with almost. And everything new they're adding is kind of off the wall and nuts. I love that, so.
And I love how 3D World also plays with its new dimension as well. Like when the Chavars come diving over, Mario seems to be able to walk underneath them while they're on screen, but he won't actually come into contact with them until they enter his plane.
Right.
So it's more than just like a visual gimmick. There's actually some 3D stuff going on here.
Yeah, the bonsai bills too, which could launch from the background at Mario.
Right.
Or even being able to climb background objects as Cat Mario. So yeah, I love that. Like that's what I wanted a new 2D Mario to be like. Do something entirely new. And even though we're getting a Mario Maker, I'm glad we're finally getting it now. So,
and even like new sound effects for people to play with, and the fact that you can attach those sound effects to individual things like that pig. My favorite thing is that horror music that plays with certain sound effects, so you can really make a ghost house actually creepy or something like that. Especially if you do the night theme, or whatever. Or we might even get more references and Easter eggs, because we saw Murasame Castle referenced in that, like in a big way with Takamaru.
Right.
So it just seems like they're digging deep into that NES history and going wild, and I love that.
They're finding new features for existing elements too. Like we have the dry bone shell, where you can become invincible for a while by making yourself flat. I love that, and you can go through the lava as well.
Right.
It's going to make everything just feel far more dynamic, and you can make, as we were saying earlier, it's not just platforming levels you can make anymore. You can make like a stealth level with that dry bone shell, or like a Metal Gear inspired level or something.
It's a good point, actually. Yeah. Especially if you tie it into some of the new goals, perhaps. You could probably... we all know what all the new goals are, so I'm excited to find out how else you can influence how you play these stages. And something else, speaking of playing stages, something else I love is the confirmation that messages are back. Even though Miiverse is dead, you can leave messages in the stage. But now, it's even better, because not only can you still seemingly draw your own messages, but you can even use pre-established templates that almost look like little cards, like little greeting cards almost, where you can then put your message on top of. And that's such a cool little feature. Like, what a neat idea.
I actually really like that you can boo stages. Like, that might lead to griefing as well, possibly, but at least there's some way to warn about a troll stage now, theoretically, in theory.
You can bully people in Mario Maker now. Just boo their levels.
Well, the thing is, by booing those levels, it might also help keep them away from the expert mode and super expert modes, make levels actually possible.
Now, what happens if you make a level entirely around boos? Wouldn't you want to be booed then?
No, that's a good point.
I don't think Nintendo thought this all the way through.
Yeah, upon thinking about the whole being able to boo courses might be... taking advantage of, but I guess we'll
I
see
don't know.
what actually
I think
there.
it'll work. I think it'll work okay. I mean, if it works for YouTube, I think it'll work okay in Mario Maker. So
I think we can all agree that Mario Maker 1 wasn't just full of quality content. Like, there's stuff that I want to avoid. There's stuff that's not even worth looking at. So if these boos allow you to just like decide whether you want to play a level or not before even trying it, I'm all for that.
I mean, that along with the new filter, I think will be, or the ability to tag your level, I think will be a huge addition. So. Yeah, I'm really excited. What they showed of the online looked promising. You know, the fact that not just as playable, but the new filters and everything else. The ability to customize your Mii now, your little maker representation. Like, what a neat little idea too, where you unlock additional costumes as you go through the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the pressure of paying for online is showing here. I think this is the first Nintendo Switch game they're really pushing online with this one. And in our previous discussions, we actually did mention, like, do you think we can play co-op online? And we pretty much all just said no. But you can. It seems you actually can play co-op online with this game. And obviously we don't know how well it's going to work, we don't know if it's going to be smooth or not, but just the fact that you can is pretty ambitious.
Yeah, it's incredible what they're doing with this, and I mean, honestly, it just makes I'm much more excited for this than I ever thought I would be, because it was just like, okay, that's cool, and I'll check it out, and it'll be fun to play, but I wasn't excited for it. But seeing all these elements, imagining what people can do with it, yeah, I'm there for it.
That's it. Yeah, we're gonna see some crazy stages. Like we already saw hints of that in this direct. But once people go hands on with it themselves, we're gonna see stages off the wall. It's gonna be some crazy stuff happening.
Without a doubt.
I can't wait. Anything else you guys want to point out real quick? Like anything else you're looking forward to? Any small features we haven't touched on yet, or any concerns at all about this game?
There's a bunch of different things that are cool. Like we have the endless challenge now, but that seems like hell. The inclusion of red Yoshis, did not expect that.
Yeah, Spitfire whenever you want, seemingly. So
exactly. Maybe even bring in the other Yoshis. I like that. Like taking
I want my
these
flying
elements
Yoshi.
that you don't think about. Yeah, exactly. I think there's a lot of fun possibilities here, and I guess we'll have to see come E3 how much else they have to show.
Right. And that's the thing, it still feels like there's a lot to show. They've shown, there's 15 minutes of stuff here, but we still have questions. We still don't know what the other style's going to be. We still don't know other aspects of the game that are maybe integral to it. We don't know how you actually play this game. They didn't show us how the controller works, how the touchscreen works. I think that stuff's probably going to be like Treehouse kind of thing, but there's definitely integral aspects of this game that they haven't actually showed us properly yet, so there's still a lot of unknowns.
There is. And I can't wait to find out what those are. Yeah, that's what's exciting. We haven't even seen it all. And again, the press release explicitly says this. So that leads me to think that there's still some pretty big stuff they're hiding. Even though I would be pretty content with what we've already seen. So.
Yeah, this is just the basic stuff. For E3, they want to blow your mind even more.
That's a crazy thing, right? Nuts. All right, guys. Anything else you want to get out there, or are we about done here?
Should we talk about the game voucher program as well, very briefly?
Yeah, I guess we could. Where Nintendo announced where if you buy, I believe any game you want as part of a pair, or any two games you want of a pre-established list, you get a discount on the other, right? I think in this case it gave an example of saving $20 if you buy two full-price games. I think it was Smash Brothers or something else.
And a pre-order of Super Mario Maker.
Yeah.
So you could even do the pre-order whole thing with Mario Maker 2, and then get Super Smash Bros. Ultimate in the meantime. Which, knowing how rare it is for Nintendo to actually discount their first-party titles, that's pretty significant. And they even had on the list Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. So it seems very likely that any first-party Nintendo title is part of this lineup, which... there's some good games on the Switch. You pick up your Switch Online, and you want to get multiple games. Boom, you're in good shape for just working your way through this list.
Right, and that's the thing. Like Nintendo games rarely ever go on sale, and if they do, it's like it's 1-2 Switch or something that you don't care about. And this is every single Nintendo published game. So yeah, this is a huge deal because Nintendo games rarely cut in price. So you'll be able to buy Animal Crossing and whatever else you want, and you'll get a discount, which, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And it's kind of similar to a Wii U program they did a while ago, though I think you actually got 2 free games rather than like a discounted game with that one. But the fact that you seem to be able to just do it with continuously, that's the big thing. Mm-hmm. If you're someone who plays Switch as a dedicated platform, this is going to save you a lot of money.
Yeah, I think it's actually a surprisingly good deal from Nintendo. because they did have some discounts before through the whatever their program is called, the Nintendo Rewards program or whatever, but they weren't ever very good. But saving a third of the cost on a game, that's not bad. So that's I think why not?
I mean, if people want to get both versions of Pokemon Sword and Shield, there you go.
Yeah, that's right.
That's true.
Watch, that's like the one game excluded from it. You have to pay full price for both.
No, they had Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, so let's hope that's not that case, but
true.
you might be right.
Yeah, you never know. All right, anything else, guys?
I think I'm good.
All right. What's your hype level at for Mario Maker 2 right now?
Mine is so high at the moment. I might even be a 10. I went from being pretty excited for this game to it being my most anticipated game of the year. It feels limitless. It feels like you can do anything in this. It's not just another Mario game. It's way more than that. So yeah, this is the original Mario Maker is probably my favorite Wii U game, and this could end up being my favorite Switch game.
Wow.
I'm probably at an 8 or a 9. I'm definitely high up there, but I'm thinking of this just as playing the levels. If this game successfully gets me into creating levels myself, taking the time to do that, working on them, all that stuff, then it will definitely be at a 10. And the original Mario Maker kind of got me to that point. This one seems like it'll do it even more so.
All right. Yeah, think about it. I'm probably at I would say 8.5. I would definitely be a 9 if it weren't for the fact that the 3D World style is not compatible with the other elements. That part really did disappoint me a lot. I wish it had gone farther, made every element work in every style, so that's the part that's bringing me down just a little bit. Otherwise, everything else thoroughly impressed me here. And I really can't wait to go hands-on with it myself and also see what else might be in store for the final game. So, with that, I think we're about done here. So thank you so much for watching, and of course, stay tuned to GameXplain for lots more Super Mario Maker 2, I'm sure, including in the very near future and farther future, and everything else Nintendo Switch as well. We'll catch you later. Bye.